Hello, today we are going to talk about my morning routine. So again, this is a type of video that I want to send to my future self. Recently, I've been waking up and going to sleep at the same time. So this is my Woo app. As you can see, by 9:30, I have walked about 12,000 steps. If I come down here, 12,000 steps, because I walk an hour to the coffee shop and an hour back. If I go into my sleep, I have a 90% consistency. And if I scroll down here, that's actually because of yesterday, I went to bed pretty late the night before. And then I kind of made it up. Usually I wake up at 6:20, and so that's actually a little bit of an aberration. But over the course of a month, as you can see, I'm consistently going to bed around 10:20 and then waking up at 6:20, which is expected. So today we are going to talk about what did I do after I wake up and what are the benefits of doing so. When I woke up around 6:20, I go to the restroom and then I immediately wake myself. And I use this thing called VeriSync. VeriSync is part of the smart scale I have. It automatically records it into the VeriSync app. So that records my scale. Then I brush my teeth, sometimes water floss in the morning. And by that time, it's about 6:30. So that took about 10 minutes. And the reason is sometimes I don't exactly wake up at 6:20. I wake up at 6:23, Actually, right after I wake up, I actually made my bed, open up my blinds, open up my window, turn the lights to the highest level, and then go to the restroom, wake myself, and so on. Literally, that's like happening within the first 10 minutes. Then I meditate for 8 minutes. And I put it 8 minutes. Honestly, it's not really meditation, to be honest. So if I share my screen here, as you can see at the very top here, I have 253 days. And that's 250 days of consecutive meditating. And I basically set a timer for 8 minutes and I start the timer. By 6:40, I finish meditating. There's the weekday and then the weekend. So on the weekdays, I go downstairs and work out. I work out for resistance training. So I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I skip Wednesday and I don't do workout on the weekends. Monday is like chest and shoulders. Tuesday is back and biceps. And I often incorporate legs into it. It only took me about 20 to 25 minutes to do my resistance training. So by 7:20 a.m., latest, with some margin of safety, I have finished my workout. Usually I finish by 7:10. If I have a meeting by 8 o'clock, I will go on a treadmill. I actually bought a Nordic Track X16. It's like a $3,000 treadmill from Costco. And I don't pay for the monthly subscription. I use the most basic version because I actually don't like their content at all. And so I'll go on the treadmill at a 15% incline for 12 to 15 minutes. That's it. Only 12 to 15 minutes. And so by this time, it's about 7:30, 7:35. Because I have a gym at my car garage, I don't go to the gym, but in order to use the gym, my home gym, I have to drive my car out of the garage. So my car is like kind of parked outside at this point. I will hop into my car, 7:30 at this point, or 7:35. I will go to the coffee shop. And I don't know, I have a beautiful espresso machine at home, but I still like to go to the coffee shop just because I want to feel the air, okay? And kind of like just like be with the environment. So by the time I came back, it's about 7:50 a.m. and make it for my first meeting at 8 o'clock. So that's on the weekday. Now, sometimes I actually have a meeting at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And in that case, I will basically get up, freshen up, then meditate, and then go straight to the coffee, get coffee, come back, do that meeting, and then either do workout or the treadmill later. During that time, I might incorporate some walking under the desk treadmill while I'm in meetings. But when the meetings are pretty a little bit more demanding, I don't walk because I'm not used to walking on the treadmill while talking just yet. Again, how long have I been implementing this? Probably about 2 or 3 months. I'm by no means an expert. I'm by no means a teacher. I'm by no means thinking that this is the best way to do it. It's just my system. If I have a meeting at 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m., even better, this is Pacific time, Then what I will do is after I work out, I will go walk to the coffee shop. That is about 35-minute walk. I get my coffee and I walk all the way back. That's another 35-minute walk. 35 plus 35, it's about 70 minutes-ish. And I have estimated that every 10 minutes of walking is about 1,000 steps. So 70 minutes is 7,000 steps. So if my meeting starts at 9 o'clock, I got 7,000 steps in already. Now on Wednesday, since I don't have resistance training and I tend not to have meetings before 9 o'clock, so Wednesday, I usually just walk to the coffee shop and back. Now, I live in the suburbs of Seattle, and it's not like when I walk on the street, I see a bunch of people. So let's talk about some of the tweaks and how I kind of learned this system. I learned about the system while I was on a month-long vacation in Asia, where I basically had nothing to do. And it was one of the best times of my life. And I basically like, hey, what is the thing that can streamline my process, my routine? One of the things I hate and what I want to solve for was I keep having this uneasiness when I have to work out later in the day. It's like I haven't finished working out. Now you can say you don't need to work out, but if I suppose the precondition is I do want to work out 4 times a week, I hated it that sometimes I couldn't squeeze it in. I keep thinking about it. I need to plan my life accordingly in the evening to incorporate that in. And I don't like that feeling. It's like think I'm finished. That's probably my personality. So during the vacation, I had so many like back and forth. I basically put in my problems into ChatGPT and just like going back and forth over how do I routinize. So the thing I changed during vacation is used to be the meditation could happen anytime during the day. And I made it such that it happens immediately after I wake up. So when I was in Asia, I wanted to routinize and I always have this trouble of when should I meditate. I decided that I should always meditate after I freshen up. So that routine got stuck. And here is a very interesting just anecdote. It's not like I did meditation, workout, treadmill, walking, all of that in the same week. Like I did not incorporate all of them in the same week. It's I implement one about every few weeks. It's just like how can I make it slightly more optimized? In Asia, I don't work out immediately. I actually went to get coffee first. But the problem with getting coffee first is that I will then use the restroom and I will go on social media and then sure enough, an hour passed by and haven't done anything. And I did not like that feeling. But at least, when I was on vacation, I didn't have to work and I did get the workout in around 11 a.m. So after I came back from Asia, I'm like, that's not sustainable. I'm not worrying about the meditation anymore, and that was really nice. Now I need to do the workout. So only about a month ago did I incorporate the workout right after I meditate without getting coffee. There are lots of excuses of not doing so. For example, I could feel like my body is weak. I don't think I can do that much resistance training in the morning. Second, I'm so used to having caffeine to jolt myself into action. But now I have to reframe my mindset to say caffeine is the reward for having a great workout. So that took about a couple of weeks to get used to. And during that 2 weeks, it was miserable. But then I decided that, okay, I do want to do that. Then I did not have a treadmill at home until also about a few weeks ago, where I said, Seattle is beautiful in the summer. Why the hell do I walk on a treadmill? And so I made a deal with myself of coming back to Seattle and not buying a treadmill and see if I like just the walking outside. After about a couple of weeks of that, I noticed that despite how hilly some of the Seattle hills are, it doesn't provide the exact challenge. So I want a consistent hill. So I did not get a Peloton because it's only 12 to 14% maximum incline. And I did a Nordic Trek X16 that had up to 30 degrees of incline, which is amazing. And it's consistently that much incline. I bought it, we assembled it. It was amazing. One of the best things I have done. But it was at that point, I made a deal with myself of testing it without one, and then feeling that I really need one, then I get pulled into getting one, as opposed to making a decision prematurely. So I'm very proud of that optimization. So the optimizations I made, again, during the vacation, I put the meditation right after waking up. Then it's not until after the vacation that I put the workout right after meditation. And that took a lot of self-talking to say, hey, just get used to it. And a month later, it's like I actually increased my resistance training weight. So it has no bearing on my strength. It was actually great. The benefit of doing so is by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock on a weekday, I basically finished everything I wanted to do for that single day. Now, that sounds like hyperbole. Obviously, there is work, there's the business, there's growing the ARR, But personally, I have found that on the business, I can leverage, people's intelligence, people's labor, people's work, and collective wisdom of the entire team. But it turned out that with my body, it's a biological process. It's not systematic. I have to put in the work every single day to keep this thing going. It's not code where you code it once and just runs forever. Where with the body, you have to nurture every single day, which it's very different. With a business, you can let it run. It's about systematizing and building process. But with the body, you can't just let it run forever. So I decided that there are two different types of entities, and I have to deal with them separately, very differently. And so that's okay, I hated it. I used to joke that my body is just a vessel carrying my mind, and I don't care about the body. I care more about my mind. And now I have found that, out of my waking hours, which is about 16 hours of waking hours, I do need to spend about on average 2 hours a day into attending to my biological processes. That's an interesting realization. Obviously, as I get better and better, it might be reduced down to 1 hour, but it's the necessity of being high performing and alive. So on the weekend, I don't have resistance training, so I only walk. So I wake up at 6:20 on a Saturday. And I will do a separate video about sleeping on time so that you can always wake up at 6:20. 6:20 on a Saturday and a Sunday. And I will freshen up, same thing, do my bed, open the window, turn on the lights, go to the restroom, freshen up, then go on the scale, brush my teeth, do some water picks, and then take vitamins. Actually, I take vitamins every day, and I put them into these medicine boxes and so on. After freshening up for 10 minutes, I will meditate for 8 minutes as usual. Then it's about 6:40, and I put my phone away. Then I put on my socks and shoes and go out and walk to the coffee shop. On the weekend, I walk to a coffee shop that's further away than the coffee shop during the weekday. And that coffee shop is about 3.25 miles away. So it took me about an hour to get there, which is essentially walking around Green Lake and plus more. Green Lake is a beautiful lake in Seattle. Then I get there, I get coffee, a soy milk latte, and in the weekdays, I also get a soy milk latte. And on that one, I basically, check what's the type of latte that has the most amount of protein and the least amount of fat, and and which one I like the best, and So I do that. I will stay in the coffee shop for about 5 minutes just to rest up a little bit because I walk for an hour. Then I walk all the way back. And that's what you saw earlier in the Whoop app. So at this point, 6:40, I usually leave around, 6:50 or 7 o'clock. And by the time I get there, it's 8 o'clock. By the time I came back, it's about 9:20, 9:30. So right now, if you saw that, it was 9:23 when I show you the Whoop video. And I still have time. Before I take a shower, I have time to do a YouTube video. So right now, the time is 9:41 a.m. This is a Saturday morning. Basically, by 9:40 a.m., I have waking up, I have weighed myself, taken my vitamins, brushed my teeth, meditated, walk for 12,000 steps. I got my steps in and did a YouTube video. What did I do when I was, 5 years ago by 9:40 a.m.? Like, what have you done by 9:40 a.m.? Right? This is you being the previous Perry. Yeah, nothing. And so it's beautiful. The world is super quiet. The road is quiet. And because I don't have my phone with me, I think about all kinds of really cool ideas. I notice the things on the streets. To give an interesting example, did you know the house numbers on the streets mirror what street they are in? So if you're going down, say, First Avenue or 2nd or 4th, it doesn't matter, and you are between 144 and 145th Street, the house numbers between those two streets actually is 14415, 14416, 14408. And so when you get to between the 145th and 146th Street, all the house number starts with 145 something something. And so that indicate, basically the first 3 digits indicate where it's located in the street. Fascinating. I will not know that if I have my phone and just listening to podcasts with me. Now that is the little doses of joy on a daily basis. I also want to mention that not all of this come at once. Like, it's only today that I left my phone at home and I use the Apple Watch. It's got my Apple Wallet that I can just use that to pay. In fact, I carry a credit card with me just in case that it needs to be connected with my phone. But it seems to me that the wallet is independent and it can be set up independently from the wallet on my phone. So I had nothing in my pocket. And again, it took me about literally a month to come to the realization I can put my phone away. Before I was, listening to podcasts or just have my phone for safety reasons. So big part is you don't have to do all of it at once. You incorporate little things every single week to optimize it further. And I went from maybe doing it, maybe not doing these walks, and doing it throughout the day at random, and feeling discomfort that have I done it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Then I made a decision that I will do it. Then I optimize what is the best way to do it. The result is once it becomes automatic, it alleviates this problem where I need to think about how to put them into order. So that's a lot of cognitive overload. What that means is right now, it's automatic motion. It's as if every time when you brush your teeth and you flushing and you're gonna turn off the faucet, it's automatic. You don't think about it. Right now, after I brush my teeth, I sit down and meditate. I don't think what I should do. It's just part of what I do. And now I go immediately downstairs and work out. I don't think when should I work out or how do I plan workout into my routine. There is the argument that do I need to do all of that? But contingent upon the fact I do want to do it, this I feel is the best and least resistance and most frictionless way of doing it. I never thought I will be someone that's considered disciplined. I am someone who woke up at 2 a.m. when I was in high school, did my homework until 5 a.m. and went back to sleep and then wake up. Then when I came back at 4 p.m. after school, I took a big nap until 10 p.m. at night. My sleep schedule was 100% messed up. I was not in the best physical shape and I was prone to a lot of mood fluctuations. In fact, I thought that I have the fat gene and I thought it is not in my genetics to be disciplined. I still made up for it by being smart, I hope, and hardworking despite not being consistently disciplined. So hard work doesn't equal to being disciplined. But now I think because I have this strong desire to get the best out of life, I have become a lot more disciplined. I don't know if I will continue. But I do feel like I have found some sort of product market fit with either with my body and with my routine. So I think at least I know how to stick with it. It doesn't take that much strong will on a daily basis. It just feels that's part of my life. That's quite of a long video. So thank you so much for watching and have a nice day. Bye-bye.